Like,
Da, da, theme song, theme song. Da, da, da.
I'm Tanya,
I'm Nikki.
and we
Welcome
are a
back.
thousand eyes and one back again for Part
Podcast.
D, House of the Dragon, season
Yeah.
2,
I need to get a good
episode
purr.
1.
Can you give me an eye rolling purr? Yes. Hot D, baby. Oh, I
Season
can't.
2, episode 1, A Son for a Son. To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, A Thousand Eyes and One Podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as Thousand Eyes One, Facebook and Instagram, A Thousand Eyes and One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram.
Got real Old Testament.
Yeah. Eye for an eye, a son for a son. Lucerys will be avenged.
Avenged.
So we knew this season was going to start with some war crimes.
Yeah, we were ready for it.
Yeah.
We were ready. As soon as I saw the rat catcher, I was like, ha! Here we go. Here we go. But before we launch off into blood and gore and child murder, the new intro, the tapestry.
I loved it.
I was kind of like, honestly, I think because I'd watched season 10, season 1 episode 10, The Black Queen, because I was coming off of that, I was waiting for the intro. I was hoping that it would be something new, but I did not dream that they'd actually like refresh their cache, Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought this was way better than the season 1 intro because I felt like the season 1 intro for me was never really clear on what it was trying to depict.
Yeah, no, it was just Game of Thrones 3.0, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess you're trying to, but the fact like keep the same music and divorce the visuals, like the tapestry, it just felt so rich, it felt more appropriate, it felt like history. So here for it. And I love embroidery, so double here for it. And it was just like it was wonderful to see how something so intricate could be done so quickly in a way that still felt simple, if that makes sense.
It was beautiful. I thought it was beautifully done.
Now I want one. I'm gonna ask someone to put it on a quilt for me.
That's not a bad idea.
My birthday is coming up. Leo is coming.
Leo is coming.
Mhm.
So back to the north.
Was that your Mufasa voice?
Yes.
Yes.
Leo is coming. I tried to get that good rumble in there. I don't know if it came through.
And get it from the yeah. Never mind. Yeah. All right.
So we saw some Starks. Well, we saw a Stark, Kragan, who we've been looking forward to meeting this season.
You guys, I didn't know how much I missed their accents. I really did. I was like, oh, it felt like home.
Starks has never forgotten a vow.
Now I've got to figure out like where those people who speak like that in the UK come from, because that's where I want to visit.
I thought maybe they were Irish, but I don't know.
I don't know. It's like when people talk about the Beatles, I guess like Liverpool, like that's the kind of accent, but I don't know. Like, correct us, please correct us, because we're probably
Well, I'm about to
wrong.
look up where this guy's from anyway.
I mean, I do love the Irish accent too, but it didn't feel Irish. I love when my dad tries to talk in an Irish. My dad's Irish. When he tries to speak with an accent, it's hilarious because he's like third generation, so it gets more Worcester than
Yeah, your dad definitely
Irish.
sounds way more Worcester than Irish.
Worcester. What up, Woo? Shout out to all my
So
cousins.
Jace is in the north looking for support for Queen Rhaenyra. And we get a little bit of a history lesson about the north, about the dragons not crossing the wall.
Yeah, I thought it was really great because Jaceera's like, hey, here I am. Look at me. I'm an emissary. And Kragan was like, listen, come up here with your fancy words and stuff. Like, we know the history. Like, that's cute that you tried, but this is what it actually was. Your dragons were afraid to cross the wall,
Mhm.
And last time somebody came up here with a dragon, it was a threat. So thanks for coming and leaving your ride in the garage, but we didn't forget. And we have bigger oaths to honor than the ones that you're coming up. Don't tell me about your queen. We got death on the other side of the wall.
But he's like, we have really big problems up here that you guys don't think about.
You know? Oh man. And ice, double-handed, two-handed
Ice,
greatsword.
giant sword, ice. I loved it.
Oh,
I didn't realize how much I missed Starks.
yeah, it was really nice to see that. It was nice to see Winterfell being just like, beautiful and together.
So the actor who plays Kragan Stark, his name is Tom Taylor, and he's English.
That's
And if you want to feel like a dinosaur or a very old dragon, he was born in 2001.
oh my God. Okay. Yeah, okay. So he's young. But
And he's
shout out to him
English.
because I enjoyed him as a Stark. When you're talking about like you missed seeing the Starks, I didn't realize that I did either until like I saw the hairstyle. I was like, oh shit. I mean, we talked about this earlier a little bit, even though we're not allowed to talk about things earlier. And Tanya commented on the fact like the fashion didn't change in the North.
Yeah, they've had the same fashion for
They're
175
here,
years.
they're isolationists. We get it. Like no one wants to go there. They're not getting like, the one bard who comes like traipsing through is not like influencing
Yeah,
haute couture.
the hairdressers and the stylists are not traveling to the north. They don't have lookbooks.
I've used this bowl for this cut for centuries.
They don't have the lookbooks that Adolin had. Stormlight
Bam, bam, bam. If you
reference.
guys haven't read Stormlight Archive in the like 8 years we've been doing this podcast, shame on you. You could read one book and take 2 years to read the one, and you would have been caught up by now.
Yeah.
In time for what is it? Winds and Truth. Winds and Truth. Book 5, last one of the arc. Anyway, back to Winterfell. Brandon
Jace is getting
Sanderson, you really
support.
got to hook us up with Steel Chicks and Dragon Con, like Dragon Steel Con, like for real. There is so much love here. Anyway,
Jace is getting support. 2,000 graybeards, which,
mm-hmm.
when the graybeards are from the north, does not mean that they are any less fierce
No,
warriors.
no, they're
They've
giving
just seen too many winters and are ready to die.
exactly. They don't care if they don't come home.
Which a person who doesn't care if they die is
Mm-hmm.
a terrifying person to fight.
I was gonna rap nothing to lose, but I can only remember I got nothing to lose, and I can't remember the any of the words that come after that. But yeah, basically, like you know what? This is my last hurrah. Like, can you like two people who I would hate to fight on their last hurrah, or maybe I'll give you three that I would hate to fight most on their last hurrah, or somebody from the Iron Islands, somebody like a Dothraki, and a Northman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any three of
nobody
those,
feels
they're willing to
scary.
die for this
Scary.
shit
Yeah,
in a way that others are just not.
you think this is a game? You think this is a fucking game? Yeah, no. They're gonna kill you and they're gonna like die smiling with your blood in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it.
Damon and Rhaenys on Dragonstone. I really liked the dragon landing what I don't know, the
Landing pad.
tarmac. The dragon tarmac. I thought that was really cool because obviously Dragonstone has housed dragons for generations.
Mm-hmm.
So there must be some dragon storage, but
Yeah,
we never saw that
ballet.
in Game of Thrones.
We did it because they didn't know what like the dragon pit basically didn't even exist anymore. But I love how they keep showing us. I think the closest that we've got to is when Daenerys is it Marina or she's in Astapor?
Oh, when
Where
she
she's
has to
got
lock them up.
when she's got to lock them up, right? And you're like, okay, you know that you need a huge place. Or when
That was
Damon
in
goes
Marine, I believe.
in Marine, right? Okay. Or when Damon like goes and he's like singing to the I forgot which dragon in the thing on like the last episode, he's like singing High Valerian, and you're like, okay, this is obviously a big space. But to know that they had entire infrastructure, right,
Mm-hmm.
designed to accommodate these magical ginormous monstrosities, that's really cool. I love that they're like fleshing that out because I never knew that I wanted to see like a
I
dragon
didn't know
heliport.
either. Yeah, I didn't know I'd wanted to see a dragon helipad.
Like,
I said, did you
super
say a
cool.
dragon airport?
I said a heliport.
Oh, but yeah, I think of it as a dragon airport.
Yeah.
Like everybody
Yeah.
lands their dragon right there. You get off on the tarmac and walk in, and then the
Mm,
dragon goes on into its lair to go and gorge and rest.
to
I
gorge.
found it
To gorge.
interesting that Damon was trying to command Rhaenys in the way that he was when truly he's not the one in charge.
Would that you were king, bitch. That's like, I want that on a t-shirt, and I'm saying it to everybody who tells me what to do from now on. Like, would that
Would
you
that
were
you were
king.
king.
I cannot wait to bust that out on somebody.
I can't wait to
But
say it
she's
to one of
right.
my kids,
Oh my God, yes. I
who, by
cannot
the
wait.
way, I'm training to call me your grace instead of mom.
True story. I have
Yes,
witnessed it.
we're
And I
working on
am
it. They forget sometimes, but we're
mhm.
working on it.
As long as when the next time I come, they're like, "Your lady," and I'll be like, "Yes."
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll be
no,
Lady Nikki now instead of Auntie Nikki.
I love it. Yeah, now I want them all to call me Lady Nikki. I'd be like your single child free aunt. Like, that's way better, Lady Nikki,
Yeah,
than Auntie Nikki.
yeah,
Love it.
love it.
Um, but I love that Rhaenys is not swayed. She's like, Damon, I used to change your diapers. Like, chill. Like, me and your
Yeah, that's
dad were
he's
playing
her little
together before you
cousin.
were born. Like,
He's
shut the fuck up.
yeah, he's her little cousin and he's her former son-in-law.
Yeah. You can't tell me what to do,
Like you're not
especially
commanding shit,
because you
bro.
killed my son,
Right,
right?
right.
Right? Hello. And
Like
she
I
like and
can't
she
prove
handled that
it,
real well.
but
She's
I
like,
know
I
you're
can't prove.
behind it.
Yeah. So like two of my children have fallen at your hands, you
Hmm.
bastard. So please fall back. Don't tell me what to do. Nice try.
The devastating thing we learn is that the reason Rhaenyra isn't around is because she's searching for Luke's body. And when I tell you
I almost
that
threw up when you said that.
broke me.
Hmm.
No,
I
like
think,
I was like fanning my face.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because the thing is like, and I'm glad that you say that, because Damon's like, oh my God, I have to like hurry up and fight her. Where she's like, or you could just reframe that. You're just waiting for her to come back, right? And I love that. I mean, I love that we just jump right into the action. It doesn't feel like we've missed a spot. They picked up right where they left off. It doesn't feel like time has gone by. And it's
Right.
just like, it's watching episode and then episode 1 of season 2. You're like, all right, no, they're continuing on the Damon fuck shit, because Damon's like, let's go to war, and like Rhaenyra is like giving birth to her dead child, and
Yeah.
she's like, don't let him go off and do the things that he wants to do. He wants war. He's like, or even when he's like, they killed Viserys. I know that. I'm like, dude, fucking chill. Like, we know that you like to fight. This is why you
Because
don't
that's
get
what
to
it
be
feels like
king.
that's what it's more about. Is like he's finding like, ah,
Yeah,
yes, something to fucking fight about.
something fucking to fight about. Yeah, and this is why you weren't named heir. Viserys didn't want you to be king because of
Hmm.
this. You're too hot tempered and short sighted. Like, nah, son, chill. Although I feel like I would have been there for her. I don't know what would have happened if she like pulled away and like pushed him back or whatever, because we know that he does like to choke a bitch. So
I still
um
hate that they did that, but
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah. And Corliss is like currently injured, so you
Yeah.
know that's not a fight we're gonna see. But
But in any case, she's looking for Luke's body or just some sign that it's really true.
mhm,
And that to me was really, really devastating. And I really felt for Rhaenyra because it's been less than a week and she's lost her father, her daughter, and now her son.
yeah. Oh, and that's what the point I was trying to make, is that Rhaenys is, she's a mother, she's grieving. She found out, like, she got an email that her kid is dead. Like, she needs to know for sure.
Yeah.
Like, chill.
How do you
Isn't
even process that, especially on the heels of losing another child,
Yeah.
which is on the heels of losing your father and finding out that your brother has stolen your inheritance?
You
And
know,
this is all in the same few
it's
days.
like 3 days. It's like
Yeah,
three
it's a
days have
lot.
gone
And I'm
by.
like, damn, girl, how are you riding on dragonback after giving birth?
I mean, she
I
did
couldn't even
yank the
sit.
baby out herself.
I
So,
couldn't even sit on the couch. Like, whew, shout out to that
it's so
strong pussy.
funny. Well, Don't declare her pussy a bastard, Tanya. Don't you dare. We know who it belongs to, but shh.
He is
Um,
powerful.
oh man. We're sorry, Jason Luceris. We know your daddy's actually Lenore. um, yeah, it reminded me of our first episode of this last season when you were talking about just like Daenerys having labia of dragon scales.
For real, like they just
Or like
like
just
what kind of
raw dogging.
powerful poem do you have that you're just yeah,
Yeah.
shit was raw dogging dragon back. Like, girl, what in the world? Like
And we
I'd
know
be
that you can't see what we mean by that, but it's not what you thought. It's the second thing you thought. Just so you know. It wasn't the first thing. Yeah, no, that shit is wild. But also grief makes you do crazy things.
grief
And
makes
I
you do
can't say that
crazy
if I didn't
things.
have a dragon, that I wouldn't have been out there flying looking to.
Oh, I absolutely understand it. I absolutely understand wanting to have at least that closure. And, coming upon the wing and his cloak
Mhm.
was
Ugh,
just, I keep just using the word
devastating.
devastating because, like, I don't know a better word to use.
Yeah, I don't either. I think devastating is the word. And I mean, I felt not that I felt, I was happy that she had that confirmation because
Hmm.
I know so many people lose people and it's just like they're gone. You never know. Like the
Right.
blackfish. Oh yeah,
Just,
no. I'm not back on my bullshit. I'm still on
oh my
it.
God. She's never gonna let this go.
Never. Never, 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 never. We saw him die on screen, right? We saw the boy get chomped up with the dragon. He is
He
dead.
could he could have
Blackfish, no
survived
such
that
thing.
chomp.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe he landed right on the dragon's tongue and got spit out.
It would cauterized?
He
Cauterized?
didn't blow any flame, so
He
maybe
didn't
he
blow.
just like maybe his mouth just covered him, so he was like Jonah in the whale of the in the belly of the whale, and then he
That
just
could be a
fell out of
thing.
Vagar's mouth and swam away to Yt.
With one leg or two? I mean, it looked like it was like,
Those were dragon bits falling.
dragon bits falling. All right, I'm cool with
Yeah.
that. I'm cool with that.
So, the saddle and the boy were intact, and he landed and was like, "Whoa, close call. I don't want to do this anymore."
You're wrapped
And
in a
he's
dragon wing.
yeah, and he just like swam away, and now he's in Yt
uh,
living out the
like
rest of his life.
oh my god, I can't remember his name. The Onion Knight. Who's our homeboy, the Onion Knight?
Huh?
This is what happens when someone ruins a show so badly that you don't want to go back and watch it again.
Davos?
Yes. Shipwrecked Davos.
Yes, he's dragon wrecked. He'll
He's
pop back up.
he's somewhere on the stepstones waiting for help.
He'll
All
pop
right.
back up.
Yeah. Poor Rhaenyra.
After Rhaenyra, we go to Hull, where they're in the shipyards, and we meet
Mhm.
Alan. Now, I didn't reread Fire and Blood, but now
Me
I'm
neither.
really tempted to
Me too, because I was like,
because
who the fuck is Alan?
Oakenfist.
Oh, see, they just gave
Yeah.
first names like anonymous shit.
Well, when he said
Okay,
Alan, I was
okay.
like, wait a minute, like Oakenfist? And then when Alan mentions his brother, no, first,
Oh,
no, first he said that he owed him a debt. And I was thinking to myself, I remember that they said Oakenfist had been cast. And so then
mhm.
I started to wonder, is this Oakenfist? And then he talked about getting his brother, and I was like, oh, I think this is Oakenfist. And then he was like, I owe you a
Yes.
debt, Alan. And I was like,
Oh, see, I'm not well versed enough in the world, but that's good and
well, I
super
don't want
exciting.
to
I will
I
go
don't want to
back.
spoil stuff. So I won't say what the significance is, but I got super excited and I had to tell Brian like you're just going to see him again. I was like I can't tell you anything else, but you're going to see him again, that guy. And also I don't know what changes the show will have made anyway,
Yeah,
but I don't want to
true.
spoil anything. Um
No
this
spoilers.
this time we're not spoiling book stuff for the
I
most part.
mean, you can say that as far as this episode goes.
Yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I should say I'm not spoiling things from the book that have not happened yet in the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind
Mm-hmm.
doing some book comparison to things that have already happened, if that makes
Word.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we
Excuse
meet
me.
Alan. We'll probably meet his brother soon, and that'll be interesting. The guy who played him, his voice is so fucking deep. I was like purring a little bit. He's very
Was it
handsome.
that deep? It didn't seem that deep to me.
Oh my god, his voice was so deep. I was like, oh.
Listen to my headphones. I love a purr voice. Yeah. Um, yeah, so that's exciting. Oh, but then also you're just getting slapped in the face with grief
Right,
because that
because he's
sword,
delivering the sword that was supposed to be for the heir,
Lucer. Hmm.
Lucerys. So
Or
sad.
Lucerys. Like finding like watching like just watch episode 10, Tanya, and then rewatch this one if you have time.
I did
Because it's just
already.
like, ah,
I
he
watched
so
them back
didn't
to
want
back
to
today.
be, he just wanted to be a kid. He wasn't
Yeah.
ready. He was afraid
He
and he
was
tried so hard to be
14.
brave.
He was a little 14-year-old, you know.
Well, I know what I was doing when I was 14, but
I was an innocent angel at church, so
I was at church, but I was not an innocent angel. Man, yeah, it's really sad. It's like, you know what, I often as soon as it's like the Game of Thrones theme song comes on, I try to like separate my emotions because I just don't have it in me to have my heart broken like show after
yeah.
show anymore. So like I feel like my soul and I are watching sitting next to each other on the couch and our eyes never make contact. That's the only way for me to make it through because just like, I think about all the tears I shed on the train in public reading things that happened in the books and then just seeing them, just yeah, no. No, 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 no.
Yeah.
Like when the
What did you
first
think
dragon
of
died,
the defense
whew,
of King's Landing?
I thought y'all don't have identifiers to know which dragon is which. It's fucking look at that. You don't know that it's that one. It's way bigger than it's literally the biggest dragon alive. Y'all
But I,
haven't
I
like
imagine
recognized
I'd
its
be on
call
edge
sign,
too. I'd be on
you
edge
know?
too, though, for any dragon overhead.
The thing is, like, the reason I wouldn't is because when they went to Storm's End, and Vagar was there, remember?
Yeah, Vagar was like the size
Silverwing
of a fucking
landed
castle.
and Vagar reared his head, and you were like, oh shit, that's why I would not be afraid. I'm like, let them bring their dragons. They got to come with like 12.
Mm-hmm.
Vagar is so big.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, no, I thought, but it was nice. I felt like that was just an easy way to get the scorpions in.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
look, we had this technology. We used to have this. Now look at us using it. Ha ha ha. I guess, guys, sure.
Yeah.
Like, I would have enjoyed that scene if it had like gone off accidentally, like in Robin Hood or whatever. Because like as the writing teachers will tell you, if you write a gun into the scene, it has to go off. So yeah, that would
I
have been cool.
liked
But
that
you like that the traitor was in charge.
traitor,
Mhm.
that bastard.
That bastard.
No, I was gonna say Helena, afraid of the rats, Helena. I like that they showed us the children.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you're listening to this, you've watched the entire episode and you know that one of the children gets murdered. A thing that I
Oops.
wish they had done.
If you were scrolling, we're sorry. You should have listened all the way through.
Well, so this scene was to kind of let us know about the children, who they are a little bit, like
Mm-hmm.
see them before this terrible thing happens. I
Right.
wish
Right.
that they had introduced us to the children last season, even though
Mm-hmm.
they were just toddlers. But instead of
Mm-hmm.
us just kind of seeing the tops of their heads while they're in a room with Helena, I wish that they had kind of shown their relationship a little bit more and showed the parents doting on them so that what happens
Mm.
later
Feels
hits a
more
little bit
terrible.
harder. Yeah.
Um, I have a thought on that. And I don't know if I could just, I mean, I could just talk about it now. One was about paperwork and legal stuff, but also like even though we didn't get to know the children before, other than, to like burn a Lannister's cap feather, I the sounds of what happened
Oh
were
God.
enough.
No, that was horrible.
I did not
Um,
like that,
yeah, you know
almost
what? Yeah,
gratuitous.
let's go
So
back
let's
to let's
wait.
come back to that. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Okay.
do that at the end
Poor,
because yeah.
and so it's my poor crazy sister wife. Oh my God, she's saying crazy things again. But as soon as she said that, I was like, oh yeah, we're seeing it today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Um
like the rat catcher was like that guy who's like in all the scene, like in all the episodes of Game of Thrones, that the extra guy who's just like casually wandering around, just being a part of the story.
yeah.
uh,
Um
foreshadowing.
yeah, the so speaking of young Jaehaerys just being there to harass a Lannister. Aegon is an idiot.
Which are we talking about when he's listening to petitions or when he's
Oh, I was talking about in this, well,
just
both
in the small
really. In
council?
the small council, we get the first glimpses of him as a ruler, and it's like he has Viserys didn't train him because he wasn't the heir.
He
So
wasn't the
he's never
heir.
been to a small council meeting. He has no idea how they go. He's there wanting to play with his son and,
Yeah.
make up for his daddy issues.
You know what's funny about it is I really enjoyed seeing him in this like in this setting, not because it makes me like him any more or less. I was like, okay, you're trying, but you have zero experience. And when things start to fall apart, like you brought your baby to work, which is cool, and like this guy's trying to keep his cool. But then he gave me Homelander vibes for a second
Why?
because I was like, he can't say that he doesn't want to play with your kid. You're the
Yeah.
king. Like he's in a there is a power dynamic here. There's like, there's a power dynamic. He could kill you if you say anything about a kid. Like let him play with the fucking ball. Like chill. We know that you're like trying to pay attention and that you're not the brightest bulb in the box and you got like you need to be taking notes or else you won't pass the test. But just let the prince play with the fucking ball, bro. Like just chill. But then also looking and be like, "Hey, wait. Do you have a problem? Oh yeah, give him a pony ride." And he's like, wait, what?
Right.
Then you
And
see
this
him,
is
he's like,
that's what
he's
I'm
got to
saying.
do it,
Like that's what he wants to do at this council meeting when you're in the middle of a fucking civil war. Like your
that
nephew
you
was just
started.
murdered by your brother because you usurped your sister's throne under the
Mhm.
counsel of your mother and grandfather.
We
And
already,
you're over
yeah.
here trying to play games with a kid because you're king now and you can tell people what to do. Like, bro,
You can tell people what
pull
to
it the
do.
fuck
And part of
together.
it was just like, okay, well, are you trying to be a good dad and stuff? Maybe you're bringing the child as a buffer to be like, okay, well, people won't know that I don't know what I'm doing if there's a cute baby in the room, you know? Um, but yeah, he's obviously
And then
not set
and
up or trained to lead.
we see it again when he's hearing the petitions. Aegon the Magnanimous, you
I love
know,
how he caught him after. I was like, nobody even knows what that word
yeah,
means.
nobody knows what magnanimous means. And but
Yeah,
like, he's
gallivant
hearing the
away with your
petitions.
words.
He's hearing the petitions and he's like, "Oh, let's just give this guy his sheep back." And he's like, "No, you
Mm-hmm.
can't do that."
His
And
goats.
he's like, "Who will know?" And it's
I
like, "What do you mean who will
that was
know?"
I thought it was a really cute moment. I didn't hate him for that
I
because I'm
know
like,
I
you're
didn't
so
hate him for
ignorant.
it at all. Because he's like, "Oh, well, can we just give him his sheep since he came all this way?" It's like he has it didn't make me hate him.
Mm-hmm.
It just showed me how little he knows of
It's
rule.
just it's also how young he is, right? He's a boy. He's also a boy. And like I can't help but not think of Tywin in these moments because I'm like, all right, Otto, but like Otto clearly is not as suave as Tywin was. But then I liked seeing where Otto's like, no, we got to feed the dragon. He's like, okay, shit, yeah, you're right, that makes sense. And then the Smiths come up to him, and he was like, no, pay them in advance. Why? Because you need to pay the people who are going to work to protect you. Got it.
Also, speaking of the Smith, he introduced himself as Hugh, and it made me wonder if
Hugh.
that's Hugh Hammer.
Hugh Hammer. I knew the name sounded familiar.
I wondered if it was Hugh Hammer. I won't say who that is, but remember that in
Remember
case it is Hugh Hammer. But he just because he introduced himself as Hugh and he's a blacksmith, I was like,
that. Right. Well,
although,
also they took a very big dramatic pause as if everybody was supposed to gasp when he said it in the room.
yeah, although technically Hugh Hammer is supposed to be on Dragonstone, but
Mm.
we'll see what happens. Maybe that's not Hugh Hammer. Maybe it was just a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and we won't even see Hugh Hammer. It could have been one of
Mm.
those like,
I could
hey,
see one of
here's a
those.
little Easter
Yeah.
egg for the readers.
There you go, book nerds. Take
There
it.
you go. Take that, you nerds. All right, let's go in on this.
Laris Fuckfoot.
No, this hypocrite bitch and her munch.
Oh my god.
Queen
Oh my god.
Alicent, height of piety, getting
Mm-hmm.
munched on in her apartment before the meeting.
I mean, actually, you know what? Let's. I wasn't ready to like actually dive into this. I thought we would mention it, but no. Let's go there. How long has your husband been dead?
Days, days. She's not even done wearing black yet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
And you
saying.
already have the Lord
How
Commander
long
betwixt your thighs. After
has
talking,
this
and
been
I'm not even mad at that.
going on?
It's after talking all that shit about
Shit about
Rhaenyra.
him and him. You
Yeah.
took your ex best friend's boo.
Now she has Rhaenyra's leaving. She's doing, and it confirms for me that her problem with Rhaenyra having quote bastards had nothing to do with propriety and everything to do with her being jealous of Rhaenyra, because she's done everything she's supposed to do. She's been pious, she's been ladylike, well behaved, and now she's married to an old man who's disintegrating and
Mm-hmm.
has no
And
fun.
that's
She's
putting it
just,
kindly.
yeah, and she's just trapped in a castle making heirs and has no control over her life. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra, who's supposed to be next in line, who should be pious and ladylike and following all the rules, is living her hot girl summer and
Mm-hmm.
betting knights and just doing whatever the fuck she feels like. Her
Not that
husband's
she
in
was
on it.
hoeing out there, but like, she was out there.
She was
She was out
living
there
her
doing
best
shit.
life, and her husband was in on it, and so she was free and clear to do whatever she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband
Instead
wasn't
of
going to have her beheaded for cuckolding him. He was encouraging that shit because he wanted to get his hot boy summer on too.
exactly.
And
Did I
I
send
think
you that meme of like it's got Laner, he's in a he's in a boat with the rope and he's like smiling and it's like Laner on his way to Bravos during Pride Month?
no, I didn't see that. Send it to me.
I will. It was excellent.
But it confirmed it. Her Alicent carrying on with Kristen Cole just confirmed for me that all of those things she was saying was not about Rhaenyra
No,
keeping
she just
any
wanted
sense
for
of propriety.
herself.
Is she was just jealous that Rhaenyra is getting to do whatever she wants and continues to be the princess, the heir, the realm's delight. Like she gets to
Yeah.
still be all of those things despite doing all the things you've been told you're not allowed to do.
But you know what? If we're gonna really go there, fuck Kristen Cole.
Oh, fuck him. Somebody literally just sent me a thing that said Kristen Cole looks and acts like Drake. Just now.
Because like the way that you were turning down the girl that you obviously liked and had a rapport with and y'all had a
Oh, would
connection,
you have me
right?
be your whore? What are
Look
you
who's
now,
whoring
Kristen
that
Cole?
bitch.
What are you now, Kristen Cole?
Talk about this is the last time. You said last time was the last time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, that absolutely pissed me off
It did.
because both
How
she and
long
Kristen are just the
has
biggest
this
hypocrites.
been
He talked all that shit
going?
about Rhaenyra, called her a spoiled cunt,
He called her a spoiled cunt.
and now you're doing the same shit. Like
And then
you're
you're
not
gonna say that you
honorable
have
either.
feelings or whatever, and all this like you want the sister ship, blah blah blah, and you are putting your pussy on the mouth of the man who called your friend of cunt.
Again, she was just jealous. She was just jealous.
Once again, if wait, in case we didn't make this clear, fuck the greens. Continue.
Fuck the Greens. This is a Team Black podcast.
All black all day
Rhaenyra was
because we're
right.
right.
Rhaenyra is the true queen
I
and the
mean,
true heir.
technically, Rhaenys is, but since we're gonna,
Well,
Rhaenys. But yes, Team Black all day. All hail Queen Rhaenyra, first of her name.
so yeah, now that I've gotten that off my chest, which I will be coming back to again later,
Mm-hmm.
um, Laris knows what's going on,
Laris
very
Fuckfoot.
obviously.
He's like, I replaced your staff.
Laris the toe tickler. And it's so crazy because
I
what exactly is Laris's title there?
don't know. He's not a
Why
he's not a small council.
he's not on the small council. There isn't a role of like Master of Whispers yet.
Mm-mm.
So like what exactly is his title? Why is he hanging around at court?
Although they kind of tried to make it as if so because that maester who was sitting in the small council, whose name I can't remember, was giving a little bit of Varys, and I was just like,
But
so
like
he's
that
just
wasn't
skulking
like an
around.
actual title until Varys though.
I know, but it's like they're having him sit in there, kind of giving the similar information.
Mm.
But I don't know what Lair like. What is he? Why is
Like
he allowed
why
just to
aren't
like
you at
hang out in court?
Harrenhal? Yeah, like
Yeah,
why aren't you at Harrenhal? We don't know what the hell Laris's
he
position
is, but he's
actually is in
skulking
court.
around
And
talking
he
to
knows
Aegon.
he obviously knows that she's fucking Kristen Cole. and he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna hold that information until it suits him.
Mm-hmm. Do you know what I loved about the scene? Well, not that I loved about the scene with her and Sir Kristen is
Mhm.
that when they're getting dressed, they have that one close-up shot of her putting her foot in her shoe. Mm-hmm. I peeped that both times I watched, and I was like, mm-hmm. And I was wondering, where's Laris? And then he shows up.
Yeah, Laris knows Laris, and he tells her then that he's replaced her staff. So she didn't even realize her staff had been replaced by him. Like, why does he have that power?
I think he had just done it though. It seemed because like it seemed like she'd had I don't know. I got two vibes. So one that he just done it, or that she didn't realize it, and that's why she started kicking them out of the bath. Because
No,
like
I
I'm
think
watching
she
them
didn't
watch her, and I
realize
was
it.
just like, ew.
I think
I
she
don't know
didn't
why she like
realize.
this.
I think she doesn't pay attention to her staff. You know,
Mm,
she already lost her lady, her like little maid Talia, who was actually a
yeah.
spy for Massaria. And I think she hasn't paid attention to who's on her staff. And she kicked him out in her bath after finding out that they've all been sent by Loris because now she feels like she's
Mm,
being spied on. So
yeah.
I don't. So her staff had been replaced, and she didn't think anything of it, but she definitely didn't know that Loris had replaced her staff.
I love how she played that
I mean,
too. I thought it was
Laris. I
like
keep
very
saying
Laris.
Loris.
Not Loris. We love Loris.
Loris is a sweetheart. We're
R.I.P.
talking about Laris.
Laris. Fuck Laris. Um, yeah, I loved how she played that with just like this exasperation, like just get out, just no, just fucking go.
She was so
Like that
uncomfortable.
disgust and uncomfort discomfort.
I'd be
One
uncomfortable
second.
too with four people bathing me.
I mean, um, yeah. And it's just like, and it honestly, it begs the question again, like, what the fuck is he still doing there? What has he been like? What has he been doing? What has he been doing? And especially for him to come at you and be like, oh, they said the queen was indisposed, but that used to be my away message when I
Right.
was with you,
And
right?
the
Like,
look she gives him, she knows he knows.
mm-hmm.
And so now it's like, well, what are you gonna do about it? He's the
What
guy
a
you send out
slimy
when you
little
need
dude.
somebody disappeared. So what are you gonna do about it now?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
she's busy getting munched, so he's had a few days without twinkling her toes.
Mm-hmm. But was he twinkling then?
No, he was just looking at him while he twinkled himself.
Twinkling himself. Club foot,
It's
not club
interesting
hand.
that Laris also seems to be manipulating Aegon to replace
Oh
Otto as
yeah,
hand. Because
absolutely.
again, what is Laris's end game? Does he just like chaos? Is chaos a ladder? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he is giving a little bit of a Baelish, but I wondered that too because, well, first of all, like if I was Alicent, you're not you as Laris, you're not getting anywhere near my kids. Like, no, you don't get to talk to them because I know what you're capable of, you know?
But how's she gonna
And
stop that when she's busy getting her pussy ate in her off hours?
she's gotta, I don't know. I was gonna say she's gotta like get a sworn sword to hang out with him or whatever, but clearly we're in the keep of turn cloaks. So
Mhm.
yeah, yes, there's no trust in anybody in this wild Westeros. Um, but like not even here's the thing. So you know that, and she says this later in the scene that comes up next, right? To Otto. She's like, listen, it's just fun for Aegon to be king right now. Like he's gonna get bored of it. Like so many kings that we have seen, you're like, oh no, actually, this is work. Oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna drink and whore my way through King's Landing. And she's like, so just wait for that, and then we will take over. But like nobody did a little bit of preparation for the fucker. Like if you knew, like if I was Otto, here I'll put it this way: if I was Otto Hightower and I knew that when Viserys died, that I wanted Aegon to be on the throne, this motherfucker would be homeschooled. He'd be like taking casual lessons, be like, oh, let's learn
Exactly.
these
You
things,
prepare
like to
him on the
prepare,
low.
right?
You're the
Like our
hand, so you know the inner workings of the council. You've been hand for three kings.
like another
So
Aegon we know from books that may or may not ever get finished.
yeah. So like you should have been training him on the low anyway, instead of
Exactly.
letting him carouse and, you know, go to the street of silk with your no, I'm sorry, he didn't go to the street of silk. He went to the less discerning places because he's
Yeah,
just
because they
that
had
guy.
rules, they had boundaries and safe words there.
Yeah, he wasn't into that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it's
likes it
like
with a
it's
little risk.
you know, and it's just crazy to see that if that was the case, or you knew that this is a son that's gonna have to like choke on a chicken bone, then like then you've got Aemond, right? But no, they didn't do anything to prepare him. So who were you just gonna be like sitting in as regent for the whole time? Like that shit kind of doesn't make any sense to me. Um, because even yeah, whatever. That I could go on for that forever. I didn't realize I felt so strongly about it, but apparently I
It
do.
just doesn't make sense, even though he's not the heir. I mean, granted,
Mm-hmm.
some of it is him, right? Because
Yeah.
Aemon did his lessons. Aemon studied history and philosophy. He trains in the yard. He does all the things he's supposed to do, as if he's
Mm-hmm.
the heir, because he
Yeah,
knows what's expected of him as the prince. Aegon
exactly. And
didn't
he
do
and he
anything
knows
of
that heirs
anything like
die
that.
all the time because he's
Hmm.
read his histories, right? But I
Right.
think it was aim like imagine being Aegon being like, oh, your sister's gonna be queen, even though you're the boy. So like, maybe just fuck off because we don't know what's really gonna happen. And then you're living your whole life being like, well, no matter what I do, people are always gonna be like, oh, it should have been her, right? Or
But it's like you're
people are gonna
also
feel
a
kind of
rich
ways.
prince. Get the fuck over it. Find some purpose, like Aemon did. Become the best at something. You have
Become the
endless
best at
resources
something.
instead of
Well,
the
he was the best at getting kicked out of shady places and sleeping under tables.
Oh my God. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they definitely should have. Well, I mean, we knew he wasn't shit when
Lord of the High Top.
we definitely knew he wasn't shit back all the way back when he was jerking off out of a window. So maybe there just wasn't hope for him
Maybe not.
at all.
Maybe not. Maybe
But they
not.
definitely should have been, if Otto in particular, since they had planned to install him the whole time anyway, they should have been working way
Mm-hmm.
harder to prepare him for rule, unless they just wanted him to
Exactly.
be their puppet.
Well, they did, but even then, it's like so you reach the point of education. We're like, how much is too much education? I need enough to control you, but not enough for you to have your own ideas.
Right.
Right? The God King, Brandon Sanderson. That
Yes.
one's for you, AK.
um Now Allison and Otto, as they're just Alice Otto kept kind of needling Allison in that meeting, kind of blaming her for why things are escalating because he wanted to just kill Rhaenyra from the beginning. And obviously Allison didn't want that, and she felt that Viserys wouldn't have wanted that, which is true because Viserys
No, she
didn't even
wanted her
want
to
Aegon
live
to
to
be
know that
heir.
she was fucking her
Her
ex
ex.
ex and in the mouth. Yeah, no.
um Otto says to her, the path to victory now is one of violence. And she says, but it doesn't have to be wanton.
Let's talk about that because I wrote it down. My note says, comma, girl, please.
Girl, please, whatever.
Girl, exactly. Like, are you serious? Like your son like it's been wanton violence from the beginning. From the beginning.
I mean, she didn't expect Aemon to kill Luke.
Yeah,
But what do you think is going to
but
happen when you usurp a throne? Do you think you can
yeah.
usurp a throne in a friendly manner?
No, the only way this would have been a peaceful transition would have been if you guys fell back to your proper place.
She knew Rhaenyra was never going to give up her crown.
And for her to talk about it to her, be like, we know that it's your, like, especially in the first few episodes, right? Where she's like, we know, you're going to come into rule one day and da 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 da. And then just be like, you fucking backstabbing two-faced
I mean,
bitch.
the night that Viserys died, she says Rhaenyra will make a great queen, and then hours later is installing her son as king.
Mm-hmm. Because she thought she heard something about something she knew nothing
She heard
about.
what she wanted to hear.
It's usually the way it works.
Um, so yeah, like the idea that she thinks they can go about
Hmm.
this in some type of peaceful way is just impossible, and makes
Mm-hmm.
it just makes me think that she's just like
Ooh,
the
ooh.
stupid girl that her father's making her out to be.
But then well, yeah, because she is a stupid girl that her father's making her to be for because to be like, oh, well, he was never punished for his eye. Wait, you mean the eye that he got jacked out of his face when he was when somebody was fighting him because he was
That he
picking
was
on
about to
somebody?
bash with a rock.
Like, are you kidding? It was self-defense, bitch. Calm down. But
And
like
she
an
also
eye for a
stabbed
son,
Rhaenyra that
and she's
night.
stabbed. Right.
So
Oh my God, I forgot about the stabbing. But yes, also. And so to be like, oh, well, I don't know. Because, we said it, a son for a son. And here I wrote down an eye for a son. Really?
right.
Really? That's commiserate? Okay. Yeah, well, fine.
In any
You guys
case,
do what you want here.
Massaria lives.
That
So the last we saw of her was her
little
house burning
scallywag.
down.
Yep.
after she threatened the hand. Yeah, I knew that that was coming, him burning
Yeah.
her house down. I also was pretty sure she was still alive because we still
Yeah.
kind of needed her for the story.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
And they didn't show her in the house when it's burning, which,
Well, ladies and
God.
gentlemen, please rewind the tape. That's all I'm saying. Fast forward. All right, we're caught up again.
Oh my God. Yes, well, her
Uh,
story wasn't done. So Massaria lives, and one of the things they changed um from book to show is that it's Massaria who gives Damon the connections as far as
mm-hmm,
sneaking around the
mm-hmm.
castle. I
Right,
believe
right.
in the book Damon didn't need her for that.
Yeah. I mean, he was already sneaking out the back way, sneaking cousins out the back way to take them to Bone
Right,
Town.
right. Um, so Massaria's still alive, and Rhaenyra comes back. All she says is, "I want Aemond,"
I
and
was so happy about it.
and that's all she has to say at the meeting. And so now Damon is using Massaria for some
Damon with his
plotting.
hard dick. His murder dick got all hard. And
Yes,
he's like, oh,
Damon's murder
yes.
date got hard. And one of the scenes, again, just talking about what Rhaenyra is going through, the scene where Jace is giving her the
Oh
update.
my God. Oh,
I was like, I was
my hands
texting
are
with
on my
Kojo
heart.
earlier, and we were both just like, bruh, bruh,
Oh, the minute that his
bruh.
voice cracked. Oh
Yes.
my
Because
God.
here he is giving his report to the queen and he just wants his mommy.
You know.
Broke
Oh.
my heart. And so while
Oh.
while they're grieving and holding each other, Damon with his hard murder dick is
Mm-hmm.
plotting for revenge. And
Really so.
sometimes you have to ask, is Damon doing this for his because of his love for Rhaenyra, or is Damon just doing
No,
this because he loves he
because
loves
his dick
murder?
is hard for murder.
And I mean, and
Damon
when you
loves
think about it,
violence,
he's
and it's
probably
like,
like,
that's cool. It's
you
fine.
disrespecting my wife is disrespect of me,
Yeah, absolutely. He is totally that vibe.
right?
It's not your honor he's worried about.
Right.
It's
Like
that
you
his
can't
his
disrespect her
honor
because she's
as
my
like,
wife.
if all you kids die, I'm gonna be king. Like you can't respect the potential king in me that I know that I am that you guys haven't seen yet.
But
But
also, like, nobody
yeah,
messes with my old lady, whoever my old
yeah,
lady might be. As long as she's my old lady, you can't mess with her.
yeah. I mean, but
That's
we're talking about the guy who was gelding people in episode 2 of season 1. So
right. Like I don't think it's like uh,
he
about
likes
fairness and
it.
crime. Like he
Not
wants
at
to
all.
fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And
He's
now's
a
his
shit
chance.
disturber. He's a
Yeah.
shit disturber. Like, what better guys you have to just let your psychopathic urges run wild than a civil war?
Right. And then, we get Luke's funeral where they're burning belongings because they don't have a Luke to
Oh,
burn. So all of this is happening. Rhaenyra's
I
having a
was wondering if
funeral.
she was
She's
going to bring
grieving.
back that wing with her, but I
Oh
guess she
God.
didn't.
I thought she was gonna show up with it too. That
Yeah,
would
I
have
guess it
been
was a little
kind of
macabre.
gruesome. Yeah, a little bit macabre.
That's where we
Um,
draw the line.
yeah. Fake ass Allison praying for her mother, for Viserys, and for um Lucerys. A thing that I found
Reluctantly.
interesting was that she named her mother. In the books, they never name who
Mm-hmm.
her mother is.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, I went because when she named her mother, I was like, is that who her mother was? Because it didn't
I just
sound right.
assumed. I just assumed it was, and I didn't
No, I
investigate.
I remember thinking that that didn't sound right, and then I looked it up to see, and I was like, who was her mother? And I realized they never named her mother. But in the
Mm.
show, her mother was a Florent, Ellery Florent. Um,
I enjoyed watching those two scenes of the funeral pyre and the lighting of the candles side by
yes,
side.
I was gonna say. So we have like almost in a way, it was like two funerals, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Allison's having her small private funeral because she does feel bad that Lucerys died, and we know
Yeah,
that
she
she
didn't want a
didn't.
kid to die.
Yeah, she didn't want that. We like as much shit as I talk about her, I know she didn't want that.
Yeah. She'll
Um,
fuck her best friend's man, but she won't kill their kids.
yeah, like she's not trying to kill any. Well, right now she doesn't
No.
want to kill anybody's kids. She would have killed them back when Aemon lost his eye.
Shit done changed.
But in any case, we have these mothers holding these funerals, and while this is happening, the workings of a funeral to come are going on.
Mhm.
And Amond
Ooh,
and Kristen are also plotting.
those fuckers. I'm like, since when are y'all friends?
Yeah, that's
But
because
Eamon
Amon
knows
doesn't know that
too.
Kristen's fucking his mother.
Are we sure that he doesn't
He
know?
doesn't know. Amon would kill him. I believe 100% in my heart that if
Nah.
Amon knew Kristen Cole was fucking his mother, he'd kill him.
Just like straight out, or do you think he would like plot
No, I
for
think
it
he
to
would murder
happen?
him. I think he'd be like, "You
Really?
fucked my mom," and then put a knife through him.
I feel like he would wait for it and make it like delicious and cruel.
I don't know. Like
Maybe I'm
Amon,
projecting.
yeah, I think that's you. I think that's your torture or spirit projecting. I think that
Uh,
Amon would flat out confront him and fight him to the end for fucking his mom.
and then the way that Kristen's like, it's my note here just says fuck Kristen again. I
Mine
have it
just
on
says
my paper like three times.
Kristen is such a hypocrite is what I wrote
Oh my
down.
god, Chris! Like I've got fuck Crispin on like three different occasions here, and then I have why is everybody so delusional about what is happening and what could possibly happen? Like, come on, no. The two-tongued your grace is also what I
Yeah.
have on there.
A thing that Amon said though during this meeting, he referred to Alicent plotting with his father's counsel to usurp his throne. So even Amon
Mm-hmm.
knows that the crown has been usurped, but he's just loyal to his family.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, that made me really like Amon. And I feel like he's just on the wrong
Yeah.
side.
I think he is just on the wrong side. I would have loved him to be with the blacks because he is a model like outside. What makes him so different from Damon, except for maybe that he has a little bit more self-restraint. Like we know that he didn't mean to kill Lucerys. We know that, the game just
He
went too
didn't
far.
he didn't mean to
But
kill him, but
he should not have chased after him over on like the biggest dragon of the
it's like
world.
playing with a gun. Like, yeah,
It's
I
like
didn't
playing
mean
with
to shoot
a
him, but
bigger
like you
gun.
also did have a loaded gun that you were spinning the cylinder on and you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you
It's like
you pulled the trigger on it
Lucerys
though.
had a water pistol and he had like a vaporizer. Like they're like, here, atom bomb.
Yeah,
Let's play catch
that was him, with no impulse control.
with no impulse control. But other than that, it's like you said, we know that he would have been good to his sister had he married her. We knew that
Mm-hmm.
he was smart. We know that he interested himself for a history and the workings of the crown. And like even though he wasn't really out up partying in like Flea Bottom or whatever, he was disgusted by his brother.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, no, he was born on the
He
wrong
was just
side of
born on the wrong
a
side.
mattress.
He was just born
Too
on the
bad,
wrong
because I
side.
would have let like imagine what a fierce ally he would have made.
Like, can you imagine Amond and Damon on the same team?
Like
They would be a terrifying pair.
terrifying.
But we have them opposite each other.
Yeah.
So we finally meet the infamous Blood and Cheese.
Jeez.
Now, they didn't call them that by name at
No,
any
they
point,
didn't.
but if you watch with
Nope.
the subtitles, they're named as Blood and Cheese.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So they never called each other that. And Cheese is eating cheese when we see him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we meet Blood and Cheese. So in this case, Blood is a gold cloak and
Mhm.
Cheese is a rat catcher.
It's a devoted little dog.
I can't remember who they were um in this story. I don't remember like what their positions were. I don't know if
Hmm.
it was that. But here we have a gold cloak and the rat catcher. Um, Damon sends them to kill Aemond, which is also a departure from the books. There was never any like assassination attempt for Aemond.
Right, right.
That just wouldn't work. Like, come on, it's Aemond. Like the rat
Blood
catcher.
in the show, Blood was a butcher.
Hmm?
It says in the book he was a butcher. He
Oh, in the
was once
book
a
he was a
sergeant.
butcher.
Yeah, he was once a sergeant in the city watch.
Okay.
And he lost his gold cloak for beating a whore to death whilst in a drunken rage.
Oh, all right. Well,
So well suited for the job.
yeah. Um, in any case, their task is to go kill Aemond. And they ask, what do we do if we don't find him? And we just get a look. They never say what it is.
Mhm.
Later on, as they're
Open to
sneaking through,
interpretation.
yeah. Well, when they come on, uh, when they come upon Helena And he's like, does he said a son for a son? Does that look like a fucking son to you? So now we know what the order was. If we don't find Aemon,
Mm-hmm.
a son for a son, right?
Yeah. Any old
Okay.
son will do.
Right. Okay. Um, the lax security in this
Girl,
place. Aegon is just liming in the throne room with his homies,
be
just drunk,
lying.
talking shit. Two
Comfortable as shit.
strangers are walking through, guards are just ignoring it. Like,
I've never seen anybody that relaxed on the Iron Throne before, except for
how do you
maybe
just
Jaime
throw your
Lannister.
legs up? Right. How do
Just
you
like legs up, like Viserys is over here getting blood poisoning left and right, but like he's just got his legs up. He's like, whatever. Isn't my life so hard, guys? Like magnanimous.
yeah, yeah, right. Aegon Dragoncock. Like they're just having the time of their life, and he's just like so
That's what
happy.
our Iron Throne room would look like, though. We'd just be there giggling.
But I remember thinking, first of all, I was like, why did he kick the dog? Like the dog didn't do anything. So I felt for that poor dog.
I
Um,
felt that he kicked the dog because he wanted the dog to go away,
but like
like
why?
Nymeria. So he wouldn't want to come back and then maybe get caught and killed. I don't
I
know.
don't think
But
he cared about I
it
don't
was
think he cared
unruly.
about the dog. I think
It
he
was
I think he kicked the
out of
dog
pocket.
because he knew if he kicked blood, he'd get his ass beat.
Well, that for sure. It was definitely not misdirection. Whatever the word is for like when you're taking your anger out on something. That doesn't but I feel like he must have cared for the dog too, because the dog was always hanging out. But you should not kick an animal because you're angry at someone else, because it's literally the same thing that Massaria said to Damon. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
listen, you're pissed at me because the object of your rage is not in front of you
Mm-hmm.
to be beaten up, because blood was there, but he wasn't coming for him. Man, sneaking through
So
all those tunnels, man.
all the whole time I just kept saying, where are the guards? Because yes, they snuck through the tunnels to get into the castle, but now they're
Mm-hmm.
walking the halls. Now you're
Yeah.
upstairs where the royal family sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
And
There's nobody like at well, go ahead, sorry.
I thought there's so in the books, Helena's guard gets killed.
Mm-hmm.
They kill her guard. In the show, we don't ever see them kill anybody to get to her. They
Mm-mm.
scare off that one maid, and then and then next Cheese is in her room, but there didn't
Who
seem to
didn't do
be.
anything to raise the alarm, so I feel like that was a plot hole, but okay.
Yeah, like there should have been guards. And then I was like, oh, the guy who should have been making sure that there are guards was busy getting his dick rode by the queen.
Oh yes.
The Lord Commander, whose job it is to make sure the royal family is protected at all times, was busy getting
Mm-hmm.
his dick rode by the queen. And I see it as he just didn't post guards.
Gross negligence.
Gross negligence. He should be beheaded. I don't have my gavel on me to bang for my sentencing, but he needs to be beheaded. That was a that was absolute gross negligence on his end. You are absolutely you have fucked up gravely.
Mm-hmm.
Like the heir has now been murdered in his bed,
In his bed.
inside the place where he should be
Not just
safest.
murdered. He has had his throat sawed open.
His head removed. He's had his head removed in his bed with his mother present while you were busy fucking the queen.
Whew.
He should be gelded, flayed, and then beheaded.
And they can give his cock to
They can give it to
Laris.
Alicent.
They can give it to Laris.
So I was gonna tell her they just give it to Alicent, let her keep it as a
Feed
souvenir.
it to the goats.
I hope that Alicent is racked with guilt forever.
I mean, that bitch better be. That's her grandson.
It's like y'all are at
Her
war.
first grandson.
Y'all are at war. Like everyone is way too chill. And I think part of
That's
it
because
is that they're like, well,
Vagar.
Vagar, exactly. Vagar
Mm-hmm.
is protecting us. Nobody's going to approach. But it's like, dude, there's other ways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you think Laris knew, since he's up
No,
in everybody's shit?
I don't think Laris knew.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he did?
That would be really crazy if he did. I don't think I think that if Laris knew something like that, he wouldn't let it happen.
Hmm.
Because I don't think that's Laris's type of
Not even if
chaos.
he's mad. That his Boosie's getting munched on by.
No, I think he would just set Kristen Cole to get caught up in some other way. I don't think he'd let the heir get murdered.
Hmm. We still don't know what his motivations are, so it's
I
hard to
don't, but
tell.
I just feel like the type of chaos he sows hasn't been like, because the only time he's had someone killed, it benefited him,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know? Like, what does he get out of the heir being killed?
Mm.
Nothing.
Grief toes.
Grief
Grief towels.
toes.
It's still warm. She's gonna have her
So
PO.
a
Yeah, no,
difference,
terrible.
a difference in how this played out in the book is that Helena actually had three children in Fire and Blood.
Yes.
The younger son, so it's the twins, Jaehaerys and Jaehaera,
Hmm.
and then the younger son, Maelor. They cut Maelor out of the show.
Yeah.
In the book, what happens for those who have not read it and care to know, um, Helena is given the
Mm.
choice. So they Blood and Cheese get in, they kill her guards, they take her captive, and they tell her to choose which son dies. They say, "We're here for a
Hmm.
son. You tell me which one to kill." They're basically like, "Look, hurry up and decide, or
We'll
Blood's
kill
gonna
them both.
rape Jaehaera, and then we're just gonna
Mm.
kill everybody."
Yeah.
And so she chooses Maelor because he's a toddler, and she feels like he won't understand what's happening. They tell Maelor, "Your mama wants you dead." And then they kill Jaehaerys by cutting off his head
Hmm.
in front of her.
In front of her. And the one, so after the scene happened, I was like, but wait. But maybe they were like, this is just too much devastation for one episode. Because I really wanted it to go the way it was in the book.
I mean, I think that this should have been a red wedding level event. And that's why I
Yeah.
said that I
Yeah.
feel like they should have made us know the children. Because it's,
Hmm.
don't get me wrong, it's horrible, like thinking of a small child being killed like that, like you wake up scared in the night with some guy's hand over your face and all of a sudden he
Oh
just
my
starts cutting off
God.
your head. That's a nightmare that I couldn't. And then for the mother to be watching this, like that's a nightmare that I can't even
Yeah.
comprehend. But because they didn't get us to like know the children, and not necessarily like them have lines, but like they've been props essentially
Hmm.
until this
Hmm.
episode where we
That's a
meet
really good way
Jaehaerys.
of putting it. No, you're absolutely right. You because and even then we don't see much of his personality. We just say that he's a cute kid who's like, oh my God, there's a big ball on the table. Let me play with it. You
Right.
know,
We
it's
should have
not like
gotten more
we're
of that.
exactly. It's not like I'm thinking of just like the introduction to oh my God, the Lannister kids. Not, I mean, like Joffrey's siblings, right? It's like we don't get a lot of them, but you see them eating breakfast at the table and they're wondering how Bran is doing. You get a little bit
Right.
of their personality, but they don't even like they never speak really. So
Right.
you don't get to become
You barely see
you
their faces.
you
So
barely see their faces, but you're not they're not endeared to you, you know?
right, you don't become attached.
Yeah.
And in a show where like we're getting so much brutality at all times, I felt like in this particular instance, it should have
Yeah.
hit a lot harder than it did. It should have been
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
impactful to the viewer, me,
Yeah. Yeah.
than it
Yeah.
actually was.
I
Not, I
agree.
mean, the sounds were extremely disturbing.
That's where they made up for it.
Yeah, the sounds were really disturbing. Like I had chills, my stomach was turning, and I was so happy they didn't actually show it.
Oh my
But
God, no, that would have been too much.
at the same time, I didn't feel that like take my glasses off and throw them on the floor devastation of
Right,
losing
right.
these
Not
children.
sobbing while the credits roll.
Right. Like it was
And you know
sad that
it's
it happened because they were children, but it
yeah,
wasn't like these
yeah.
particular children had any kind of attachment, that I
It
had
makes
any kind
me
of attachment to them.
it makes me think two things. One, that they were banking on the fact that it was a child for people to be devastated. But the reason that we were devastated when Bram was pushed out the window was because we knew a little bit about him, right?
Right. We just
Um,
sat there and got to know him for the whole episode, and then you shoved him out of a window.
and you're like, oh my God, no. But then the other thing about it is like we are living in the world of George R. Martin. His like he gets off on getting us attached to characters and then
And then
doing
killing them.
terrible things to them. Like
And
why
I
water
think
down the
also
brands?
taking away like the Sophie's choice, I think also took to me
Mm-hmm.
took some of the wind out of the sails.
Yeah, I think so too. What I wanted was like for them both to be awake and be like, okay, well, if they're gonna leave it with just the twins, then I want both of the twins to be awake, and then for the opposite to happen. You know, like I want
God,
them to
can
be
you
witness to it.
imagine like both of them clinging to her and crying while she has to
It's
tell
like,
them which
no,
one to
mommy, not
kill?
me. Like,
I
oh
would
my
have
God.
nightmares.
Exactly. But that would have, right? You would have felt that shit though.
Yeah, yeah,
Although to be completely fair, like the noise of the murder like definitely disturbed me.
yeah.
I loved watching Helena like run through the hallways just like quietly because we all know that she's a little bit touched, right?
Hmm.
But we also know that like you cannot scream because they're gonna come for you. They'll just kill
Right.
all of you. And even if they get caught, they will still kill all of you.
Although
Um,
at the same time, I feel like they really wouldn't have killed her because Blood was very like, no, we're here for a son. Like
yeah.
he knew his task and he was ready to stick to it. So in a way, I think that, he
Wasn't
probably,
in the contract,
yeah, it
ma'am.
wasn't, I'm not getting paid to kill a queen. And I thought it was so interesting that he didn't even know who she was.
Mm.
He's like, who the
I don't know
fuck
that
is
they keep
she?
her out there.
No, but like, you kind of forget, we're so insulated
Yeah.
within the family and within the keep, within the Red Keep and
Yeah.
within Dragonstone. And like, you forget that like
Right.
there's a whole world outside and he doesn't even know who the fuck the queen is.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you're right.
So
Yeah.
what does he
Yeah.
care if he kills the heir? He's a killer.
He's a killer. That's what he does.
The rat
That's what
catcher
he
knew who the
does.
queen was because he works in the castle.
Yeah, he lives in the house. Um, you know what? I will say I expected to watch this episode again immediately after it was over, but I was just like, oh shit, they really did it. I feel like it was a little bit like, wow, okay, so that's how they pulled it off. Wow, I'm a little bit disappointed. I'm a little bit underwhelmed, but I'm also like, oh my God, those sounds were terrible.
Yeah, the sounds definitely are the part that made it um that
Gruesome.
gruesome and gut wrenching. We absolutely
Ugh.
didn't need to see it, and I'm glad that
No,
they
we
didn't
didn't.
show
That
it.
was
We didn't
enough.
need to see it.
And then to
Listening to it
chase
was
it
really
with
horrible. But
and
I
then to
do
chase it with Allison riding a dick. Like,
yeah.
okay.
And like she's just walked in on her mom fucking the Lord Commander, and you can't even process that right now
Like
because
slow love fucking him,
oh my
like
god. She was riding the
he
shit out of
was
his
in the
dick. It's so
cervix.
funny. She probably has never been fucked properly.
She
Her
probably
husband's
never
been
has.
disintegrating since they got together.
Did my cock come off inside of you? My bad. Give
He
it
like he
back.
has to check every time and make sure it's still attached.
Funny story about that. I'll tell you
So
later.
even if he ever and like you go if you think about her sex scene, the one we get with Viserys, where she's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of laying there waiting for it to be over, versus Kristen Cole, where she's riding him for her life.
Oh my God. Like
This
pressing
is
the
like
head between, like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
this is probably the first time she's had an orgasm.
It might be. No wonder she's so sprung. She's like, this is the last time. And he's like, but you said last time was the last time. And she's like, no, but this is the
I
last time.
know. But it's like, but now it's like your daughter has walked her daughter's I doubt Helena is gonna even say anything about that because who fucking cares?
No.
Her baby just
Yeah.
got killed.
Yeah.
But your daughter just walked in on you fucking the Lord Commander. You were riding dick while your grandbaby was getting murdered because no one was guarding him.
Because the man whose dick you were writing was supposed to post people out there. This would have never happened in Dalinar's war camps, Tanya.
Cersei would never let this happen.
Oh my God, are you kidding? The way, no. Oh, yeah.
Cersei would never.
Never. Never. Can you
You know
imagine what
how
Cersei would have
hard it
done
was to
to a
kill
blood
her
and
kids?
cheese?
Like her kids could only be killed by like extreme subterfuge and them being like out of her reach.
You know? And when you say extreme subterfuge, it's like people conspiring for years and to get all
Yeah,
the pieces into
like
place.
a
Like they
whole
had
lot
to
of
make a
people.
marriage happen.
Right, an entire marriage and wedding had to happen in order to just poison him. So it wasn't
Yeah.
even like he got brutally murdered with a knife and his head cut off. Like someone had to slip poison and do it in the most like sneaky way possible. And same for her daughter, she was all the way down in Dorne getting poisoned. She
Do you
wasn't
think Kristen Cole is gonna go kick go kick Vagar now?
go kick Vagar, get his foot eaten off. No, Kristen
Damn
Cole should
it.
be ashamed. And I mean, he should
I
be
wish he
ashamed.
would kill
Allison,
himself.
yeah, that love for Kristen Cole to be so ashamed that he killed himself. But that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole other show. We should just do fanfic where like we just get revenge on all the people we hate.
I am absolutely down
Like we read a
for an
version of
episode
this where
like that.
Kristen Cole immediately commits seppuku. He was ready to kill himself when he killed Joffrey Lonmouth at the wedding party.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're fucking the queen. You were ready to kill yourself over your shame back then, and now you're fucking the queen. And now the heir has been murdered on your watch.
Shame is cheap these days. He doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, well,
What honor? What honor?
what
So
honor.
yeah, fuck
As
him.
she
Fuck
clips
him
on his
today.
white
Fuck him
cloak.
last season.
Ugh.
Fuck him tomorrow. And not like writing him, meaning like fuck him, like fuck Theon. Is what we
Yeah.
do.
So now the heir Jaehaerys has been murdered in his bed.
In his
Helena
bed.
has been completely traumatized. She can
More than she
definitely no
was
longer feel
being married
safe.
to like,
Right, to
her crazy
Aegon.
fucking brother.
Um, and yeah, like this just set up for some real fuckery to go down because what happens next? Who,
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, do we
I've
just
been
keep going
waiting.
son for son and start trying to take turns murdering each other's kids?
I'm gonna run out of kids
Does Alicent
eventually.
try to sue for peace? You know, is Alicent going to
What's
become
gonna happen?
bloodthirsty?
Like I would you will yeah. My thought that I have that happened in my mind as we're speculating, I was like, what if she became pregnant?
Alicent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to make the show messy, show writers, we realize that it's already up, but
Yeah, I mean, it's not something I think they would that would happen, but if Alicent were to become pregnant, I think Otto would find some way to. You know what? Alicent probably drinks moon tea every night before bed.
that's her nightcap.
Yes.
She's like, oh, my dick is coming through. Chug, chug, chug. And then she wakes up and has another one in the morning with a shot of strong wine.
Yeah. Well, we leave off.
Yeah.
That's where the episode ends. They killed the boy.
They killed the boy.
That was chilling, and that's where we leave off. So we'll see. I mean, I'm
I mean,
imagining that not much time will have passed between events when we start the new episode.
no, like Allison needs to be like running with cum dripping down her thighs to like announce this thing has
Jesus
happened.
Christ.
Like if but what I'm saying is like if
Yeah, yeah,
she's not
yeah.
acting with an immediacy, then
And the
like
Lord
what are we doing for it?
Commander, he's over there pulling up his drawers. Like
Mm-hmm.
there should be chaos. Everyone should be awakened. You know, the king, there were some guards in the throne room with the king, but like they didn't stop the two randos walking
Isn't it
through.
crazy? And like how far are there chambers from the throne room? Like I guess it's like a good distance, right?
Yeah.
But like I just don't understand. And the thing is like with Helena coming and being like they killed the boy, knowing that she kind of sometimes just says stuff like, are you perplexed? Do you think that somebody has, if you're
Right.
Allison,
Do you take her
do you think
literally?
like does somebody really, does she just have a bad dream, like
Right.
how are you receiving that information and then
Right.
believing her?
Yeah, the lack of security, the lack of protection was appalling, and I blame Kristen Cole because I
Yeah,
think he's distracted.
I
And that's
mean,
why, as Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, and why a Kingsguard knight is not supposed to be out here
tangled
fucking
up.
and entangled with people,
I
because
mean,
your
I
main focus and only focus should be protecting this family.
exactly. But now as I'm thinking about it, they must have both like her spiritual virginity and his actual virginity were probably lost to each other.
Well, I don't think he was a virgin.
I do.
Well, no, he fucked Rhaenyra.
Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot that.
Yeah. And I don't think he was a virgin before that either.
Mm.
He was a
He
dude
was too good of
living
a
his
knight.
life. Like, why would he have been a virgin?
I just want him to be.
No, he's an incel. Well, but he was voluntarily celibate. He's just a liar. He's a dishonorable man
Hypocrisy.
and a
Hypocrisy.
hypocrite. And Allison is a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to getting to the bottom of why Laris wants Otto gone.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he has designs on the Hand of the King? And like, oh, you're the one I
Maybe.
trusted. Like that's what I thought too. I was like, but why would he make you Hand of the King?
Right.
Like, why? Like, and what is it that you want to get out of manipulating him? Because when we didn't,
Well,
what I should
to
have
be
said
the
earlier was
second
that
most powerful
to be the
person in
hand,
the
right?
nation.
But like, I feel like there are other better choices, but maybe not, because you know what he's doing? He's positioning himself as the only one who takes the king seriously,
Right. I'm
He's
the
the only
only
one who
one you
sees
can
him as a
trust.
man. And I see you
Mhm.
as a man when they still see you as a boy. Like that's
Uh-huh.
what he's doing. And that shit is intoxicating.
Mm-hmm.
So
And Aegon
yeah.
comes off as easily manipulated.
Mhm.
So, well, we'll see. We'll see where it all goes. I won't spoil anything. There are certain things that I know that are supposed to happen that obviously
Yeah.
we won't talk about. We'll just wait and see how it plays out. And then,
Shout out to our friends who are going to not watch until the season's over because they want to binge because they cannot take the suspense. I
I
love
couldn't
you
do
for
it.
it.
I am there. Yeah, no. 9 o'clock comes, my phone goes on D&D. The children get
Yeah.
shut up in their room, and
We'll put it this way.
no one talked to her Grace until
Before Tanya and
10:01.
I started the episode, like 30 minutes before I called, and I was like, "Do we need to go over the rules? Like, just so we know that we're all on the same page." She's like, "No, we would know the rules." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I'll
Mm-hmm.
talk to you tomorrow then."
Yep. Yep.
Like we don't even text like nothing anymore.
Nope.
No punctuation, no emojis, no
Nothing.
nothing.
Complete silence until we hit record.
Because you never know, like
So these
anything
are
could be
all
a
the thoughts
spoiler.
as they spill out.
Yeah. We have not, you know, we didn't have a pre-meeting about this.
No.
Anywho.
Anywho, it's been a pleasure.
We're
Go Celtics.
back. Go fucking Celtics. Yeah. Yeah. As
Well,
always.
as always, I've been Tanya,
And I'm always Nikki.
and we'll chat with you next
time.
week. Bye. To find previous episodes, go to thousandeyespodcast.com. You can also find us on YouTube, 1,000 Eyes in One Podcast. And if you'd like to follow us on social media, we're on Twitter as 1,000 Eyes One, Facebook and Instagram, 1,000 Eyes in One. If you're interested in our speculative fiction book club, that is Wine on an Empty Stomach on Instagram.